sure. So the Messiah has to make a worldwide recognition of God. He has to, for example, establish the new covenant as per Jeremiah 31. He has to bring the Jews back to Israel, and he has to make worldwide peace. These are just the basic criteria.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you know, like, our view on all of those?
What's Israel?
I mean, like, what is Israel? I mean, like, we think that Israel is literally anybody who has faith in Christ. And so, like, in terms of the, we don't believe that it's solidly based off of a bloodline due to things like in Deuteronomy where it says that you become an Israelite if you're a sojourner who accepts the one true God.
Yes, I'd ask you obviously to prove that you've accepted the true faith.
Well, I mean, we believe that we've accepted the true faith due to the fact that Jesus Christ had come and proclaimed that new covenant coming into place, fulfilling that prophecy in that aspect. And we think that he actually did bring world peace to his kingdom in all ways, because he abolished all of the systems that were holding people to an absolute plague. And so he brought a world spiritual peace to anybody, where he actually says to come and I will give you rest. And if everybody were to come and receive rest from Christ, that would be complete world peace by itself. And so the fact that Christ offers complete world peace, right, to anybody who comes to him, right, we would say that he did establish world peace in the spiritual sense. We don't believe that the passage required it to be in a legal political sense, like the Jews posit.
Okay, out of the criteria of the Bible, what did Jesus fulfill, right? That like a regular false prophet proclaiming to be the Messiah would not be able to fulfill.
Say that again?
Okay, from the Messianic criteria established in the Old Testament, what did Jesus fulfill that the average false prophet would not be able to fulfill? So it could be like an example.
Being born of a virgin.
Okay. Can you explain to me the context of Isaiah 7:14?
Yeah, because I understand that you guys try to say that it doesn't actually mean an actual virgin, right?
Oh, young woman.
Yeah, young woman, right?
So, I mean, I wouldn't really have like that much of a contention with it. I'd just say, look, even if it says virgin, granting you it does, which I don't really grant, but like granting it anyways, it doesn't say she's going to give a virgin birth. It just says it's just her current status being a virgin.
No, it says that a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, right? Virgins don't conceive.
1 second. That's not how I'm understanding it. I'd say, look, but Hine, behold, this Alma, this virgin, right, is going to give birth, meaning she's going to have relations and give birth. That I wouldn't say that she's going to conceive a virgin birth. I can say, for example, 1 second, I can say, for example, that my sister who's not married is going to, for example, give birth in 2 years' time. That's not saying she's going to, for example, give a virgin birth. It's just establishing a current status as, for example, not having had relations.
Do you believe that anybody giving a birth who used to be a virgin as a sign?
Sorry?
Do you believe anybody who is a virgin who's going to give birth, do you believe that that is a sign from God?
I mean, yeah, I believe the child is a sign.
The child is a sign. So in that case, how are you ever able to determine who this Messiah is? If in that case, it's just somebody who was a virgin and now is not because they consummated a child.
Sorry, I don't believe this is Messianic.
You don't believe that Isaiah 7:14 is Messianic?
No.
I'm just explaining to you our criteria on why we believe that this was the sign being fulfilled. Because if you're granting that it is a virgin, in this case, we wouldn't consider a sign from God to legitimately just be a virgin who's going to consummate a baby as a sign from God. That's ridiculous. And so we consider that a messianic prophecy off of the notion that we believe that Mary was sinless. Sorry, that's a whole other thing. That Mary was a virgin who gave birth miraculously, which therefore is a sign, the actual sign.
Right, so I'd understand that, like, behold, this young woman is going to conceive, and it says, before he knows to discern between good and evil, right, the two impending kingdoms which seek to destroy you are no longer going to exist, which was the Assyrian kingdom, and it was the northern kingdom of Israel, which seek to destroy the kingdom of Judah. So I'd understand, it says he's going to be eating butter and honey curds, right? So I would say, look, the sign is going to be a boy who's going to exist, right? And this kid, right, is going to be the proof, who is called Emmanuel, to symbolize that God hasn't abandoned the nation, or rather God's presence remains with the nation, right? And before this child is old, meaning very soon, these two kingdoms that she seeks to destroy you shall be dismissed, essentially.
They were. So in the prophecy regarding Jesus, when Herod specifically, when he was first born, was obviously the tyrannical ruler at this time. The angel actually had come to Mary and Joseph when they were in Egypt and said, "Hey, they have fallen. You can now come back to Israel." So the primary persecuting nation was destroyed, and historically we would believe that obviously God had some.
Yeah, I understand your interpretation. I would say that you see the kingdoms of Assyria and the kingdom of Judah, which are described in verse 2 as having an impending danger upon the southern kingdom, and they were destroyed in 2 Kings 16:9 and 2 Kings 15:30. So I just have to disagree with you that this is messianic, and my next question would be, what would be your proof that this is messianic?
I would say because historically it was something that would seem to have been fulfilled in history, in that sense. Because the fact that you don't consider it a messianic prophecy, but it was something that historically follows this specific quotation, and it happened in a miraculous sense, obviously in our paradigm, then this would be considered obviously a messianic thing off of that.
Okay, just because it happens twice, like granting you it happens twice, it doesn't mean it's messianic. It just means it happened twice, but there was an original, right, an original contextual fulfillment of it. I wouldn't say that. For example, you can have a prophecy that a prophet, right, is going to walk down the road, and you have like a later prophet who also walks down the road. But that doesn't mean that the original prophecy regarding the earlier prophet was regarding the later prophet. So
yeah, but
again,
you're equivocating. You're equivocating a very simple event off of something that was extremely evident in terms of like a series of events, which is not the same thing as saying somebody walked down the road. So you just equivocated the simplicity of it, which is not a simple event.
But the analogy still remains the same, that there's an earlier fulfillment, which you're going to have to address.
I would just say that it's not regarding the specific events that occurred in the Old Testament. I mean, that would just be our view based off of the historical account of the virgin birth of Jesus.
That's fine. So we're going to have to agree to disagree on that. Okay. Can you give me again your proof that doesn't end in like a stalemate for Jesus being the Messiah, please?
I mean, like I said, I believe that he fulfills pretty much every single prophecy that's proclaimed in the book of Isaiah. And so, for example, like, I mean, what do you think Isaiah 9:6 is pertaining to?
So I'd say it can be regarding the Messiah. It can also be contextually speaking of Hezekiah. But I wouldn't say that this is a strong proof for the entity being God.
So they're going to call this son that is born, right? And the government will be upon his shoulders, and his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And so whoever this person is going to be called this, right?
Yeah, so again, he'll be called Peleyates, Wonderful Counselor, Kelgabar, Mighty God, Abiad, Father of Perpetuity, Star Shalom, Prince of Peace. And again, you see the majority of these godly terms also being given to humans. If you go, for example, in Ezekiel 23:21, right, it says the mighty warriors, they're essentially in Sheol, right? And the word for mighty warrior is Kel Gebar, which is the same term used for this entity in Isaiah 9:6. So I wouldn't say this is like a strong proof he's going to be God. But again, right, it doesn't say he will be God. It says he's going to be called Kel Gebar, meaning that the name's going to be symbolic. He's going to be called it. It doesn't say he's going to be ontologically Kel Gebar. And the reason I say this is because every name in Hebrew has a meaning. For example, right, King Jotham, right, Joachim means righteous God. Just because Jotham is called righteous God doesn't mean he's literally God. So just because this entity is called Kel Gebar doesn't mean he's literally God.
So who's the angel of the Lord with the name of Yahweh?
Sorry, stop like shifting. He's speaking with me, like let him finish.
Okay. So I guess in that case, right, so if you're just going to basically make the equivocation that God in this context is not referring to ontological sense of God, then, I mean, that would just be another situation where you'd be interpreting it differently than me. I mean, like, we would say that, like, because of the fact that Jesus came, said what he said, did what he did, died and then resurrected after 3 days in our paradigm, we would say that he very clearly showed that he was God ontologically. And so we would say that that is fulfilling that in that sense. And so, as well as, for example, like everlasting Father, like who is that? Who is that in the Old Testament?
It doesn't say everlasting Father. It says Aviat, meaning Father of extension, right? Ad can
In
be
Hebrew?
like ad. Yes. So ad can mean, for example, like ad hayayim until today. It's like an extension until that time. So I'd say that under Hezekiah, right, the kingdom was extended, meaning they say that it's in the Bible, in Chronicles, right, the king was into war with him, and he essentially prayed, and upon his merit, right, it's in the book of Kings and Chronicles, the kingdom was saved for an entire generation, and likewise the Messiah, right, will extend the peace for the whole people. So I'd say this is the form.
So can you show me where that's what that word, where Abiad actually means what you're saying it does? Because according to the interlinear, it's saying that it means eternal and everlasting.
Right.
It's not meaning it by extension. So can you show me that?
Yeah, sure. According to like the Safaria interlinear, it does mean by extension.
Which one?
Safaria.
I don't know what you're saying.
It's again going to be like a Jewish interlinear as opposed to like a Christian one.
A Masoretic one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so then in that case, if we were using something like something
you
that
have to stick to Masoretic because this verse isn't even in the Septuagint. It says will be called
the
like.
Septuagint doesn't say everlasting
One
Father.
second, I'm talking with your friend. Please, I'm talking with your friend. It says in the Septuagint will be like a mighty messenger or something. It doesn't even say he'll be called God in the Septuagint, so you'd have to stick.
I
to
was
the
just trying to
Masoretic.
clarify that you were talking about the Masoretic in a sense. And so I guess in that one, can you show me like the like that version of it, please? Because like I said, I'm looking at the interlinear, at least the main one that's used. And so if you're telling me that there's like some other interlinear that says something completely different, like which one can I look at?
Are you asking for like an interlinear example?
I'm asking for your interlinear example.
Okay, sure. Give me 2 minutes.
Sure. This Morning Dragon's Age person who's been yapping this entire freaking live, dude.
Yes. So Genesis 32:25, and it says that Yaakov was wrestling with this angel. Ad halais hashacha. Ad means until the early dawn. So it's like a continuation onto something.
Okay. What is it? So where's this interlinear again that you said that doesn't say what you think it says? That wasn't
Excuse
what
me?
I asked. I said I asked you for the interlinear example that you're using where it doesn't use the word everlasting Father. That's all I asked for.
Which word? Are you talking about ad?
I'm talking about the context to how it's translated.
Okay. I'm not saying the word father isn't present. I'm saying the word everlasting isn't present.
Yeah, so I'm asking you then to show me that translation. That's all I'm asking.
I did Genesis 32:25. I gave it already.
So I can use the same interlinear?
I'm saying if you go to Genesis 32:25, the interlinear which I'm relying upon establishes that this word doesn't mean eternal. I feel like you're not listening to what I'm saying.
No, because it's just not what I was asking you. Genesis 32 what?
25. What were you asking me then?
I was asking you because you used a completely different translation of interlinear. When you were referencing, it doesn't say everlasting Father in my translation. I'm asking you to show me that translation. That's what I was asking. That's all I was asking.
Sure, the Ibn Ezra.
Okay. Is that something I can read online?
Yeah, you can find it in his parish, in his commentary.
Oh, in his commentary.
Yes, he's a translator. He's a Hebrew linguist.
Mm. While I'm looking for this, what's up, Lewis? Oh,
What is the claim here quickly?
Just that Isaiah 9:6 doesn't say everlasting Father.
It absolutely does. The Hebrew there is abiyad, which means if you literally translate it, and I can show you Jewish translations where they say it means Father of everlastingness or Father of eternity.
Which is what I was saying, but he's saying to use the Ibn Azra commentary specifically to show that it doesn't say that.
Wait, okay, Isaac, what does the word Abigail mean?
Sorry, I'm gonna like speak with your friend if that's okay.
Ah, okay,
Lewis, he's just gonna ignore everything you say.
Bryce, ask him what the word Abigail means.
What does the word Abigail mean?
Yeah, if you want, 1 second, Bryce. If you want to have like a fair discussion, keep between me and you.
A fair
To tell you why it's
discussion?
relevant. Can I say why it's relevant?
Hey, Isaac, this isn't your live.
1 second. That's fine. I'll leave. But I'm not gonna have like
I'll
this.
drop.
Where they gang up
But
upon you and they like.
Yeah, no
maybe-
problem, Isaac. I'm not going to talk to you. Don't worry. I'll drop.
you. That's fine.
All right. Bryce, the reason I'm bringing up the word Abigail is because the first part of the word Abi is the same that's used in the construction of Isaiah 9:6. Abigail and Abiyad. Abiyad meaning father of everlastingness. Abigail means father of exaltation. So that's the point. But anyway, Isaac, you have fun, Isaac. I know you're scared of me. Don't worry. God bless, guys.
If you want to just do this another time, Isaac, it's not a big deal, man. I have a public live where I let people come up here to have conversations depending on the amount of guests in here.
Yeah.
If you
Because,
can't like have a conversation, if somebody else is like, hey, what about this thing? Because I didn't ask
That's
it.
not-
Like, how would that be considered?
reason.
Just
The
what?
reason is because like when you go into Muslim lives, they tend to just like interrupt you and do 3-on-1 and give you like 20 seconds to respond to multiple different claims and just shout over you like
Well,
apes.
we weren't doing
Right.
that.
So I know you weren't doing that, but that's usually what happens when the first person begins speaking from my experience. So I'm just gonna like ask that we keep it between me and you, right? That way we can have a productive and fruitful conversation.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to.
And
do
if I don't have the answer to something, am I allowed to phone a friend?
I mean, we can skip on that. There's like no one's going.
I just have to concede if I don't know something, but someone else in my live knows.
And Isaac,
I don't debate for knowledge claims, dude. I debate to like understand the truth to something. So if somebody's able to answer something that I can't, therefore I lose. Like, is that how that works to you? Like, do you think it's like a point system?
I just say that you can keep it on hold and can continue the conversation. You can discuss with your friend after.
And Isaac, I wasn't trying to.
Do you think this is a formal debate?
I brought up a point.
One
I
second,
brought
again,
up a
which
point
one
that
of you
was
two am I talking
relevant.
to now?
Knows Hebrew to like clarify something that I don't know, then there's no reason to continue the conversation. If you're just going to say, nope, I won't talk to anybody else but you. Like, okay, that's going to be the case.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not a Hebrew expert, dude.
I don't I don't need you to be. But again, if you don't know something, I'm not gonna like want you, 3 of your friends to just jump in and like, this is how the
Even
debate
if
works.
they have an answer and I don't speak during that.
Yeah, we can just like leave it for that moment. Again, if I didn't have an answer, I'm not gonna just go and phone 3 friends and like keep you on hold. I'm gonna just like say let's skip it and get back to it another time.
Yeah, I
Do you want to
understand that
continue the
part.
conversation or do you want to leave it here? It's up to you.
I mean, I would honestly just say that if you and I want to have like an actual formal debate, we can set something up in the future. I don't have an issue with that. But at the same time, like
Not
these kind of
asking for
lives are.
debate.
I mean,
You're trying to
for, like, a
structure it like a formal debate, though.
Yeah, you're
because this is a
structuring it that way.
conversation. This is for the audience. It's not for your ego.
This is for everybody
I
to have a
wouldn't- I
conversation.
wouldn't
So
say
I
I'm
want the truth
structuring
answer
it.
to come out either way, whether I don't have an answer or whether I do have an answer. I don't want an answer to just be like, I concede, never mind, and then just move on. Like, oh, I got him. Like that's not how I do conversations on my lives. These debates are not for the people on this panel. The debates are for people that are listening, that want to know the understanding of the truth. So if somebody has that answer, then I want the answer to be said.
Okay, do you want to continue the discussion in this format where me and you have a discussion without your friends? Or do you want me to just leave and your friends can speak? I'm happy either way.
So
I mean,
that's-
I would say that if you're not down to like allow the truth to come out from somebody else, then this debate's not fruitful.
yeah, it's not.
So-
It's not in good faith.
Okay, that's fine. So again, I just want to like have it clear that you don't want to have a discussion with me one-to-one, correct?
Sure, man.
Okay, have a good day. At least you guys were respectful for like the most part. Thank you guys. Take care. God bless.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why you're so sour. But okay.
I'm sour.
Because the way that you're framing it, Isaac, is that it has to be that way, and you're on his live, and he's asking that there's a third option that is available.
I wouldn't say it
It's not
has to
fruitful.
be. I'd say it's the only fair way, is that it's like 1-to-1. Unless you want to give me like double the amount of time that you both speak for, where I can address both of your points. That's fine. If you
I
want to speak, like,
wasn't
a
even
minute,
interrupting your entire points. Like you were making
never
statements and then
claimed.
stopped talking.
I never claimed you. I'm saying if you want to have a discussion where it's multiple of you against me, I'm going to ask that you let me speak for the amount of time that you're both speaking for. It's that simple. I'm
Yeah.
not going to have you both speak for me and teach and after respond.
Can we
with
stop
45 seconds.
debating meta and get back to it, or you can leave?
Yes. God bless you guys. Thank you. Take care.